Alrighty, howdy ho folks, Multiversal Medium here for another episode of Silent Hope. Reach the gate to the next floor without using any healing potions. Probably possibly doable. Oh yeah, this is an arena one, this is doable. So once more, like, as opposed to the mage, the fast combat that the archer can do ranged wise makes up for the fact that he's ranged. Those attack animations are so much quicker compared to everything else. His frickin' class right here actually stuns enemies with 2 of its attacks. It's just inherently better and it feels better. Arguably, I don't dislike playing the archer now. Like, yeah, look how freaking clean and easy that was. Like, super clean and easy. The farmer's still a better ranged combatant. She really is. Just having homing attacks does wonders. And it's paired with, like, it's preloading ranged attacks. So you use a skill, and then you're able to do other stuff, and then ranged attacks. It's good. It's so solid. Anyways, we're finally back to the farmer. With all those buffs going. Good stuff. We should hopefully be able to go through the rest of the biome like this.
Before it erupted, the earth trembled beneath our feet. My father and I quickly gathered our subjects together. He could protect them all with a magical barrier, you see. No matter what happened, we'd be safest by his side. Or so we believed.
Was there betrayal? Because, seems a whole lot like the, people were getting ready to rebel. I love a good rebellion. I really do. I really, really do. I was talking to my fiance, like, just last night. And we were talking about like Sheogorath nonsense and the Elder Scrolls series as a whole. And I was like, you know what? I love chaos. And I think I love chaos because of freaking Dummy Thick Eris in Billy and Mandy. And for some reason that just really resonated with me. And now I love chaos because Dummy Thick Eris. Eris is such a forgotten, like, Greek deity, basically. Nobody knows about her besides, like, basically Troy and frickin' Billy and Mandy. A lot of people don't even know that she's, like, a part of the whole Troy frickin' story. Like, nobody cares about Eris. There were so many, like, Greek pantheon nonsense that I swear people would not care about if it wasn't for, like, one piece of media. Like, seriously, how many of you guys knew about Thanatos before Persona 3? Come on, be honest. How many of you guys knew about that boyo? Did you guys know he got locked in a closet? And then he refused to, grab the soul of the dude who locked him in the closet because he had PTSD. Thanatos is a very pure individual. Like, seriously. Dude got locked in a closet. Oh, I love that myth. Honestly, I love almost every Hades-based myth. They're all solid because you realize, like, Hades is one of the only decent individuals in all of Greek mythology. Basically, like, the myth is... You guys actually probably know how this myth ends. You ever hear of a Sisyphean... Is it Sisyphean? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Greek gobbledygook to me, and, this ain't Rome. We ain't talking like the Romans. Ooh. A light turtle. Ooh, fancy. Is it Fighter or the Dark Turtle? Flamer of the Day? It is tanky as all heck, though. Gosh dang. Anyways, you know the, basically the iconography of the man constantly pushing the boulder up the hill, only for it to, dislodge as it gets closer to the top and fall all the way back down, and that is his eternal punishment in Hades. That's the dude who locked the Thanatos into a closet. So basically, it was his time to die. It really was. And he knew he was effed over. He genuinely was like, oh gosh, Hades is gonna beat my butt, man. I was not a good dude in life. He broke a very well-known taboo in society. He was murdering guests and stealing from them. Which I'm certain you'd think like, well, yeah, murderers are horrible people. That's a given. It's like, no, this is like a special kind of like, you don't do that. Like, even if you're a horrible person, if you have a guest that you welcome into your home, you give them sanctuary in that society. And he was breaking that taboo on top of murdering people to steal from them. So yeah, Hades was gonna have a field day with him. So he was like, oh no, I gotta think of something. So he talks to his wife and he's like, okay, so like, I'm going to die soon. It's pretty obvious. I'm getting to that point. Do not give me proper funerary rites. And his wife was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't like you. So when he gets across the river Styx and he's talking to Hades, he beseeches Hades. And he's like, I can't rest properly. My wife didn't give me proper funerary rites. And Hades, being the big softie, actually, was it Hades or Persephone? They're both big softies. They really are. They are both really willing to help the dead find peace. You see almost any frickin' myth about them. They are such a good power couple. And I think one of the only knocks against Hades as a deity is how they hooked up. But honestly, you see myths about them interacting. They are perfectly good with one another. It is one of the healthiest freaking relationships in all of Greek mythology. It is more healthy than freaking the relationship between Cupid and his now ex-wife. Let me reiterate that. The relationship between Hades and Persephone. Hades, who arguably kidnapped Persephone to make Persephone his wife after falling in love with her at like first sight, is more healthy than the relationship that the god of love had. So yeah. They're such a solid power couple. Basically, he beseeched whichever one was on the throne that day. The other one was probably like taking care of their dog, taking them for a walk, because that's basically a thing. They have a dog named the equivalent of Spot that they love and take care of. And they let other like individuals borrow the dog. It's like, yeah, just bring him back home by like 8, man. You're good. They let Hercules borrow Cerberus. And he was like, yeah, just bring him back, man. It's fine. They're so chill. That is how that myth goes with Hercules. Of his like 12 labors, is like, you need to bring me the guard dog of hell. So he goes to like Hades and he's like, hey, can I borrow your dog? And he's like, yeah, man, just bring him back by like 6. He needs his like kibble. And that's the myth. That is that story and how Hercules conquered like Cerberus, basically. Anyways. So this dude, Sisyphus, I can't freaking pronounce that. Sisyphus. Sisyphean task, whatever. Beseeched whoever was on the throne that day and is like, I can't rest properly. So they let him go back to demand from his wife that he gets proper funerary rites. And then he just didn't come back. Because he's like, nah, they're not going to come get me a second time. Who cares? I'm good. So, like, they realize he's just not coming back. So, like, Hades is like, Thanatos, literal embodiment of death. Go grab his ass. Go grab him and bring him right over here. I am tired of this. Do not do this. So, Thanatos shows up. And, Thanatos is, like, a primordial deity. Like, yeah, taking orders from, like, Hades in this regard, but they're in the basically same department, and Hades is just like a higher up manager. Let's just consider it that way. And Thanatos is a super chill, simple-minded individual. They embody death as a whole, but they're a simple, pure boy. Just a little guy. So basically, Thanatos shows up, and I can't remember exactly how this dude tricks Thanatos, but he stuffs Thanatos into a cupboard and then just locks it. And now nobody's dying, because the god of death, quite literally, is just locked in somebody's cupboard. And now Hades is super pissed. Like, legit super pissed. So he sends someone, and they get Thanatos out of the cupboard. And basically at this point, Thanatos is like, I'm not going back there. I got locked in the cupboard, man. I got PTSD. I ain't going back. And so, like, Hades is just, like, had in his head, like, oh my effing god, I'm surrounded by idiots. And having to think of a way of, like, I need this dude just in front of me right now. How the heck are we doing this? And I can't remember how. I honestly can't. This is the part of the myth where I'm just laughing so much I forget what happens next, because I am killing over dying laughing. Because this is a story about how not to be a bad person, basically, and it's just this hilarious. Anyways, they somehow get this dude, Sisyphus. I can't pronounce that name worth a dang, but we're this far into the story, so who cares? They finally get him back across the river Styx in front of Hades, and his punishment is to constantly push up a boulder up a hill. Oh gosh, I freaking love Greek mythology because it's filled with stupid things like this. It really effing is. Like, everyone knows about Zeus and his antics or whatever. You know, they freaking rebelled against Zeus at one point, right? And the dude had to pull in like a major favor just to get out of it. And everyone doesn't know how many more favors he has, so nobody's tried it again. But legit, the entire like pantheon did rebel against Zeus because they were tired of his BS. That is a thing that happened. It's not something that everyone's like, why don't we just all eat Zeus? Like, why didn't the other gods, since they were bigger, just eat Zeus as the largest gods? Like, no, it is canonical. They basically, what happened was they all formed a coup, like the entire pantheon. Everyone was tired with Zeus's BS basically at this point. They formed a coup and like had him chained up and tied to like this pedestal slash table. I think they got him like crunk AF, because you know Zeus is a partier. The dude has always been about parties, man. Like, in some way, shape, or form, he's always been low-key about parties. Zeus with a surfer bra accent makes perfect sense in most people's headcanon, and they just never actually gave that idea thought. Anyways, basically, I think they got him drunk, and then they like chained him to the table he passed out on. And he can't get out of it. He can't reach his lightning bolts, which is like his only means of defense in keeping the others in check, because the lightning bolts are so effing powerful. You know, heaven's wrath and all that. So he's like, oh, what do I do? And then he's like, he had to call upon the Hectothanes. Which, for those of you that don't know, because the Hectothanes are like a very weird word when you look at it, and they're a weirder freaking creature in Greek mythology when you look at what they are. I think the translation is literally the 100-handed. So basically, they're these creatures with like, I want to say 100 heads, 100 arms, 100 legs kind of thing, all while being like one creature. And they're the Greek embodiment of strength. So he had to call upon his favor with the Hectothanes, you know, to get the F out of there and have them break the chains binding him. So yeah, the other gods don't like Zeus. It's a canonical thing. They don't like Zeus. And I don't think anyone who's read anything up on Greek mythology can blame them, because Zeus effing sucks. He's effing insufferable. And like, I'm not saying his wife with his relationship with his wife should work out. They're siblings. I always think that's weird, but like, you know, ancient times, marrying your siblings, weirdly normalized, especially in mythology, because they don't want to keep introducing different deities. You can't keep having people born from sea foam where everyone wants to F them. Which, hey, that's another really funny freaking story, right? Persephone? Is it Persephone? No, not Persephone. That's Hades' freaking wife. Aphrodite. Yeah. That's a funny one. So, those of you that don't know how freaking every god is kind of connected to one another, or how theology and all that works, Aphrodite and Dionysus are two gods from like proto-Greek / Roman religion, across the ocean, basically the Mediterranean Sea. It's not the ocean, it's the sea. And they're basically a part of the proto-religion that eventually became Greek mythology as a whole. But during that transition, other deities basically took up a lot of their manifestations. And what I mean by that is like, hey, so what is Ares the god of? Oh, he's the god of war or whatever. Yeah, he's the god of like bloodthirsty war. What about like strategic warcraft? Well, then there's Athena. So like for Aphrodite and Dionysus, they were the deities of like X, Y, Z, and X and Y were already taken by the time they were reintroduced into the pantheon. And the entire myth about Aphrodite, Elite 5 elite monsters before reaching the next floor. Okay, yeah, sure, cool. About how she was born of sea foam and all that is actually an allegory down to the shore she was found on, as well as the fact that she was born of Cronus's testicle. Yeah, did you guys not know that part about the myth? Yeah, Aphrodite's, like, even though she's born of sea foam, the sea foam formed from the fact that, like, Kronos, Zeus, Hades, Poseidon's, a majority of the pantheon's father, his testicle got cut off and, like, fell into the ocean / sea, the Mediterranean Sea. I keep calling it an ocean, man. For some reason, sea and ocean are just synonymous in my head, and I don't know why. Anyways, that fell into the Mediterranean Sea, caused a bunch of sea foam, and thus Aphrodite was born from it. Anyways, the myth of her birth is very allegorical from her place of origin, which was across the sea at the time, around the shoreline where she was quote-unquote born from. And considering her other aspects were taken, she ended up just becoming a goddess of beauty, which was one of her aspects, only one of them. The other stuff was already handled by other members of the pantheon, and this honestly happens a lot with theology. Like I said, this also happened to Dionysus in a weird way. Dionysus being a god of wine and revelry, kind of sort of thing. You know, crunk party, man. Anybody. So, considering her entire, like, myth of origin is an allegory about where she's originally from, we go into the actual myth beyond the fact that she was born from sea foam. And it gets funny. Because it's Greek mythology, and when does it not get effing funny, yo? Like, it's seriously, just pick up a book and just read any myth. You'll get a chuckle here and there. It's always freaking funny. The people are so effing petty. Like, it's always solid. Like, just... Like, if you don't believe me that the Greeks did not have a sense of humor... Actually, it's the Greeks and the Romans. Like, I've had this viewpoint for a while. But like modern day philosophy is actually just stand-up comedy. because philosophy has always had a comedic tinge to it. And just look up how the Roman philosophers and stuff used to interact. The Greek philosophers used to interact. Like, it was basically like college level hazing in some regards. Like, basically you listen to all these ancient philosophers and their interactions with one another, and it's like, are you guys just a bunch of fraternity bros? What are you doing? And that is the proper... I just peeked the mic right there. I could hear it in my headphones. That is the proper freaking explanation of what ancient philosophy was. A bunch of fraternity bros effing with one another as they tried to like present their theses. That is all it was. Someone defining a man as a featherless biped, and then another dude showing up with a chicken he plucked all the feathers out of and just throwing it during his presentation of that like speech again. When he says that, it just yells, "I give you a man," and it's just like a featherless chicken. Like, seriously, it's effing hilarious. These dudes were always effing pranking each other. Freaking the father of stoicism. Like, you know how to freaking train to be a stoic? Carry around a jar of beans around your neck. Like, just a jar of beans with a rope tying it around your neck. And walk around in society with a jar of beans. Can you do so without trying to hide the beans? Then you might be able to be a stoic. But if you try to hide those beans, he's gonna come up behind you and frickin' like smack you with a stick. Stoicism. Got the beans. I'm not even joking. That's how that went. Anyways, so like things get funny with the Aphrodite myth. Because like everyone is just enamored. All the gods are enamored with her beauty. And they're about to go to war with one another over her beauty. Because these dudes have freaking gone to war with one another over stupider things, let's be honest. The gods are obscenely petty in Greek mythology. It's what makes them fun. It's like quite literally, it's... The Greek gods are the equivalent of a soap opera, but with divine powers. That's why it's so enjoyable. They are soap opera like protagonists with divine powers. So they're really able to F with one another. And that's just the fun bit. Anyways, so they're about to go to war with one another because they're all really after Aphrodite. She fine AF. She has shed all her other divine aspects to perfectly only be a goddess of beauty, basically. Anyway, her husband's Hephaestus. And if you didn't know that, but you do know who Hephaestus is and how Hephaestus looks, you're probably like, wait, what? Because Hephaestus, out of all the deities, is the only one described to be deformed. Hephaestus has a club foot. Hephaestus, like, is covered in burn marks because they run the forge and stuff for the gods. Hephaestus is arguably the only ugly god in the pantheon. Now, how did Hephaestus end up marrying Aphrodite? Well, also stopping all the gods from going to war with one another. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So, Hephaestus is the son of... Is it Hera? Is Hera Zeus's wife? I honestly always forget her name. I do. It's really cruel of me to forget Zeus's wife's name, because Zeus forgets his wife's name, I swear. Or at least he claims he doesn't have a wife anytime he's hooking up with someone, so it's honestly very cruel of me. But the woman's very vindictive and cruel and a lot of mess, so I don't think I should really give her the benefit of a doubt. Is she kind of justified in being mean? Yeah. She completely blames the victims, though, who Zeus is constantly taking advantage of, because that's an ongoing thing in Greek mythology. Look up Medusa. Medusa was a victim. Then Athena got pissed at Medusa and turned Medusa into a Gorgon. It's such an effed up myth, actually. Because Medusa was a priestess of Athena, and Poseidon wanted her. And when Poseidon took her, Athena blamed Medusa, which is so effed up. Any but. So Hephaestus is the child between Zeus and his actual wife. And now you understand why he has a club foot. Because they're siblings. And that is honestly a very common thing amongst incest babies, like that kind of deformity. I think King Tut had a club foot as well. Anyways, basically all the male gods are about to like just go against each other and like tear each other's throats out, and they're all low-key beseeching Aphrodite to become theirs. And Hera, realizing everyone's going to kill each other, we need to low-key keep these men under control, as well as stop this woman from basically making them all kill each other. She whispers in her son's ear and how to beseech her to become his wife. So Hephaestus goes up to beseech her. And basically what he says is, I'm very loyal and I work late in the forge. And then he mic drops and leaves. And yeah. Oh, 10 monsters in a row without taking damage. I have not been paying attention to the freaking thing. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? It's a way to get more EXP. I don't need to do every single challenge, yo. Anyways, he mic drops, and obviously Aphrodite chooses Hephaestus with that in mind, which canonically equates to Aphrodite married Hephaestus because Hephaestus was fine with her cheating. Greek mythology, y'all. Like, Greek mythology. That's what it is right there. Can I actually get these dudes down? Yeah, let's see here. Hey, what's up, man? I'm happy we're seeing different enemy types in this biome. I didn't think about it until just now. Like, I think in the earlier biomes, oh, well, whatever. Trial failed. We weren't really super seeing newer, like, full different enemies until now. We were seeing a lot of reskins. I was thinking about it last episode too, where it's like, hey, these cat enemies, I don't think there's an equivalent on the earlier floors, huh? I don't think there's an equivalent for these turtle enemies or the freaking monkey enemies either, which is cool. And yeah, that should be kind of bare bones, obvious, whatever. But I also accepted in an earlier episode where it's like, these are like lore-friendly recolors for the enemies I am hitting. Like, lore-friendly, like, blue lizard folk or whatever, so on and so forth. So I was kind of expecting, like, a lot of recolors, and that was basically going to be it. I guess, low-key, I lowered my expectations a lot after seeing the recolors about what kind of enemies we'd be going against. So it's nice. It should be arguably a given that we should be dealing with this, but how many times do you play an RPG and the second recolors get introduced, do you just expect, oh, I'm going to be dealing with recolors for the rest of the game? Maybe there will be a few new ones here or there, but basically I'm going to be dealing with recolors in the final dungeon. That kind of thing. Because subconsciously, I think I do that, apparently. I didn't know I did that, but apparently I do that. Oh, we got a boss fight right here. Mini boss. Ooh. Silver Epithecus mofo? Sorry, I had a hair in my freaking mouth. Kind of hard to talk when you have a hair in your mouth, not for nothing. So, let's get you down, basically. You can see how worried I am as I take hits. I really ain't. I'm going to assume this dude just keeps summoning, period, so there's no real reason to keep taking them down. Yeah. I was correct in that assumption. That being said, I think we're officially really plowing through this area. We're what? At the 11th out of 18 floors? Yeah, we're getting pretty far. Fiend Lord. Okay, yeah, sure. Mine. Coolio. And here we got okay, a recipe. I was about to say, like, seriously, it's a blue chest. Did we seriously just get a white item out of a blue chest and nothing else? I'm about to lose my mind. I keep forgetting you have to get the recipes in the dungeons as you explore. There's even, like, quests specifically to get recipes and then make the item you get the recipe for. Oh, well. Collect 350 runes before reaching the next floor. Yeah, that's doable. Oh, actually, I leveled up. When did I? Whatever. Whatever. Get lost. Birdie buddies. Both solid. They both just raise the damage. Let's go with birdie buddies. I swear I had already raised that, but basically there's no actual way to save in this game. Not like manually save. This game works on autosaves and that's it basically. So like after I finished getting a character up to like level 30, I would basically finish up anything in town, switch characters, and then put the game down. The issue being was the autosave would happen when I was finishing up things in town. So I'd load back in and I would still be the old character that I'd already gotten to level 30 at that point, so on and so forth. Which led to a few instances of me apparently not having their skill points located. Because, well, that was before the autosave happened. Yeah, well. Gosh. I love playing this farmer girl. Like, it is just the fun type of combat in this game. It really is. Yep, it's just fun. And it's so stark in comparison to some of the other classes. Like, I want to like the pugilist. I really do. She just isn't good. And it's helped out a bit that, like, her recent class did give her an AoE. The issue is she's so squishy on top of everything else. There we go. Get you all freaking destroyed by all that stuff. Oh, we got another witch recolor. Okay, yeah. Actually, like, I need to look at the enemies. Because for some reason, I'm realizing it right now. I thought the little succubus devil girl was a recolor of the witch. And I'm realizing, no, they just work mechanically different, actually. They're completely different enemies. I need to look into that. Like, hold up. It's basically been an episode. I may as well do that right now. We're gonna have to call it here in a second anyways. Yeah, hold up. Pendium. There we go. So, where is Witch Girl? Lloyd. Oh. Was that on the second floor that we started seeing her? I feel like it was before that, but whatever. Patty Hatter. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Actually, I'm going to say it's probably like a very similar model. Where is she? Thunderdame. Yeah, it's a very similar model. It's basically just one has a hat and one has a staff, but it's the same horns, it's the same tail. Yeah, it's different animations, same base. Okay, yeah, cool. I'd still say that constitutes as a recolor in my opinion. They are mechanically and arguably very different in how they work and everything, but at the end of the day, it is the same base model. That's right there. Oh, well, it's been an episode, guys. It's been fun. I finally got to play my farmer all real good and stuff. I'll talk to y'all later in a different episode of Silent Hope, where, I don't know. Did I spend the entire episode talking about Greek mythology? It's not a bad episode. I like Greek mythology. Anyways, ciao.